Now we are going to see a question from book 3 part 1 chapter 12 question 1. It is from March 2019 exam question 1. Please read this question carefully. Try to read the question minimum 2 times. Now what we have to do in this question, how we are going to approach the things further in this question. Try to see the scenario. Here we have what? A oil rig. Oil rig means what? Suppose if you visited means do you work in offshore or a proper vessel? Okay. So now suppose if you working on offshore, there is what oil rig means what? If you know the Bombay High, do you know Bombay High?
No, sir.
Means where extraction of the crude oil we are going to do.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So here oil rig means what? Suppose there is a one pipe is there. Just imagine that oil rig. From there we are going to extract the crude oil. This oil rig is supported by what? Two vessels. So one vessel means we have one oil rig. Suppose this is what oil rig. Just imagine that this is oil rig means one pipe. And this oil rig is supported by what? Oil rig is supported by what? Two vessels. Two support vessel. So this is what a oil rig. Oil rig means what? From a pipe from which we are extracting what? A crude oil. Just I am explaining. I am giving you an example. It is not compulsory that it is always a pipe. It can be any pillar also like that. So here, oil rig. So here they said oil rig means what? Basically it is for extracting the crude oil. And here we have what? Two support vessel. So one side we will have one support vessel, and another side we will have another support vessel. And these support vessels, what they are doing? They are applying a forces. One support vessel applying a force of 45 meganewton, and another support vessel applying a force of what? How much? Applying a force 28 meganewton. So in this way we have what? Two supports vessel. They are applying a force on what? Oil rig due to localized tidal effect. So here we have a due to localized tidal effect, the system is in state of static equilibrium. So this oil rig is in what? Equilibrium situation.
Yes, sir.
In the water as illustrated in figure. So here we have shown only a forces on the oil rig. But what is meant by localized tidal effect? What is the meaning of what localized tidal effect? Localized tidal effect means what? What is the meaning of what localized tidal effect? Localized tidal effect means what? Force due to tides. What is meant by localized tidal effect?
Force due to tides.
So here now on this oil rig, how many forces are acting? First is what? Force due to oil rig. Second force is what? 45 meganewton. And third force is what? Tell me.
28 meganewton.
So here on this oil rig, how many forces are acting?
Three forces.
Three forces. Try to understand the scenario here. So on this oil rig, which three forces are acting? Force due to tide. Which forces are acting? Which three forces? Force due to tide. 45 meganewton due to one support vessel and 28 meganewton due to another support vessel. So in this way, these three oil and these three forces together will form a what? Equilibrium scenario. Try to understand the scenario here. So now, what is going to happen? Try to see the things here carefully. Very simple discussion, not that much difficult discussion. So what we are going to do? Just we are going to understand. First of all, we will draw a just simple oil rig. Just imagine that this is what oil rig. This is what oil rig. I will use for this one. So this is what our oil rig. On this oil rig, we will have what? And here we will have a reference line. Just imagine that this is what our reference line. They have given us, so this is as our reference line. So bigger line, smaller line, bigger line, smaller line. So this is what a reference line. And here we have what? Here effects due to what? Forces due to what? Support vessel.
Yes, sir.
You got the meaning of oil rig?
Yes, yes.
And here oil rig is supported by what? Two support vessels. So one is creating a force of how much? 45
Meganewton.
45 meganewton. And another one is creating, another support vessel is creating how much force?
28 Meganewton.
So another support vessel is creating how much? 28 meganewton. So this will be what? 28 meganewton. Then this angle, how much they have given us? 37 degree. And this angle is how much they have given us?
33 degree.
33 degree. Now we will see what they are asking us in A part. Calculate the magnitude and direction of the localized tidal effect. What they are asking us in A part, what is our target in A part? What we have to find out? Magnitude and direction of localized tidal effect. Try to understand the scenario. What is our target? We have to find out magnitude and direction of localized tidal effect. So first of all, we will assume let F is equal to what? What is meaning of F? F stand for what? Localized tidal effect. What is meant by F? Localized tidal effect. This is a little bit difficult word, but in simple word, what we can say? Force due to tides.
Tides.
What we can say in simple word? Force due to
Tides.
tides. That is meant by F. You are getting my point?
Yes.
Now here on this oil rig, this is what our oil rig. Just imagine that this is what our oil rig that I am going to highlight, this one, circular one. So this is what our oil rig. On oil rig, how many forces are acting? Tell me. I explained you. How many forces are acting?
3 forces.
What are the 3 forces? 45.
Force due to tides and 45 meganewton from one support vessel and 28 meganewton from another support.
Very good. Perfect. Very good. So here we have what? So 3 forces. Now try to see the scenario. What we are going to do here further. Let R is equal to what? Try to understand my point here. I am going to explain you. I am explaining you very, very important concepts to you. So here we have what? 3 forces. First is F. Second one is what? 45 meganewton, and third is what? 28 meganewton. So 45 meganewton and 28 meganewton. Now what we are going to do? We are going to replace these 2 forces by R. What we are going to do? We are going to replace these 2 forces by what? R. So what we are going to assume? Let R is equal to what? Resultant of, what is meant by R? Resultant of 45 meganewton and what, sir?
28
Meganewton. So now at the end, so we replace what? 45 meganewton and 28 meganewton by R. So at the end, how many forces are remaining?
2 forces.
2 forces. Now if on common logic, sir.
Yes.
If on any object, if there are only 2 forces are acting, or if on any object, if only 2 forces are acting, and this object is in equilibrium. Suppose this is a person, and we want this person. Suppose there is a one force acting on this side, and another force acting on another side. So, and we want this person a stationary. Then these 2 forces must be what? Equal and opposite. Suppose this is a F and this is R. And if these 2 forces, this person we want in equilibrium situation, then these 2 forces must be what?
Equal.
Equal in magnitude and opposite in direction.
Yes, sir.
So what we can say? So here what we are doing? Here we are replacing, initially we have a 3 forces. Initially we are how many forces? 3 forces. But out of that 3, these 2 forces is replaced by what? R. So at the end, how many forces remain with us? Only 2, F and R. So what we are going to do? So for equilibrium of, what we can say? Therefore, for equilibrium of, listen my words carefully. Therefore, for equilibrium of oil rig, F and R must be Equal in magnitude.
And opposite direction.
Equal in magnitude. And what we can say?
Opposite direction.
And what? Opposite.
Direction.
Opposite in direction.
Yes.
You are getting my point? Any doubt in this discussion? So therefore, for equilibrium of coil, the F and R must be equal in magnitude and what? Opposite in direction. So you are getting my point? So now to get the R, and here we will assume this R will have what? Two component. Component of R is what? Rx. Component of R in x direction. And what is meant by Ry? Component of R in what?
Y direction.
Y direction. So to get the, see, our target is what? See the scenario. Our target is what? We have to find out F. What is our target? We have to find out F. But to get the F, first of all, we will calculate R. From R, we will get the F. But to get the R, we will need the what? Rx,
And
Ry. So we will calculate Rx, we will calculate Ry. By using Rx and Ry, we will get the R. And by using R, we will get the what? What we will get? We will get the value of. Any doubt in this discussion? You got the meaning of this, all these points? So
Yes.
we got the what? Value of F. Now try to see the things here carefully. So here we have a Rx and Ry. And now here we will assume. What we are going to assume? We are going to assume x and y direction here. So this is what our x direction. What we are going to assume? This is what our x direction. This is what our y direction. Now tell me, this 45 meganewton, is it in x or y direction? This is 45 meganewton. Is it in x direction or y direction? Neither in x nor in y. So what we are going to do? We are going to take out the components of 45 meganewton. And how we are going to take a component? We are going to form a rectangle. How we are going to take a component? We are going to form a what?
Rectangle.
A rectangle. And how we are going to form a rectangle? Try to see the scenario here. So in this way, we will form a what? A rectangle like this. Observe the same scenario. So what we are going to do? We are going to form a rectangle. This rectangle is visible to you.
Yes, sir.
So this is what? A rectangle. And we are going to make this rectangle as what? A dotted. And what is the purpose of making rectangle? We have to form a what? Components. So that is the purpose of making a rectangle. Observe the things here carefully. So here we will have what? So this is what? Our 45 meganewton. And here we will have a components. What components we have? 37 degree. So
Yes.
sorry, angle we have a 37 degree. So component will be what? What will be component?
45 cos 37 degree.
45.
Cos 37 degree.
45 cos 37. So we have a component is what? 45 cos 37. Unit will be what? Meganewton.
Meganewton.
And another component will be what? 45
Sin 37 degree.
So 45. So this component will be what? 45 sin 37. And what will be the unit of this component?
Meganewton.
Unit here also what? Because force is in meganewton. So component also in meganewton. So we got a component. And why we are doing like this? Because we want to find out resultant. So if you remember our discussion, force system discussion, resultant of coplanar concurrent force system. So here we have tried to calculate resultant of what? 4 forces. But here in this numerical, what we are going to do? In this numerical, what is our plan? Try to get a resultant of these 2 forces. What is our target? We have to find out resultant of what?
These two forces.
These 2 forces. So here we have what? So we have made the component. Here also we can make the component. But things will become little bit complicated here. So that's why we are showing the component separately. and this is another force 28 meganewton, and here we will paste here this 28 meganewton. Observe this one, and similarly we can make the components of 28 meganewton also. So for that components, what we have to do? We are going to form a what? A rectangle like this. See this one.
Yes.
How to get the components? We are going to always form a rectangle, and we are going to make this rectangle as what? Dotted. So in this way, what we are going to do? We are going to form a rectangle as what? Dotted. Observe the things here carefully. And here we will have one component. This component is in what? 1 minute before showing the component, what we are going to show. So this is what? Our 28 meganewton. This angle is how much? 33 degree. So components will be what? What will be the component? So this is one component in x direction. Observe the things carefully. This is one component in x direction. And here we will have what? Another component in y direction.
Yes.
So 28. This component will become what? 28 cos
33 degrees.
meganewton. And this component will become what? Vertical. 28
sin 33
meganewton. And why we are forming a component? Because we need a resultant of what? What we need? We need a resultant of these two forces. And what resultant of these two forces we consider? R. R is what? Resultant of two forces. See, what is our target? We have to find out F. But to get a F, first of all, we need a value of R. And by using R, we will get a F. And for R, we need its two component, Rx and Ry. And to get the Rx and Ry, we need the components of these two forces, 45 meganewton and 28 meganewton. And that's the purpose of this one. You have given the heading of the question, book 3, part 1, chapter 12, question 1.
Yes, sir.
And now, so after the heading, draw this figure properly. After the heading, draw this figure properly.
Sir, draw the yes.
Any doubt in this discussion, sir?
No, sir.
Now write down this discussion after this one. Now our target is what? Our target is what? We have to find out F. To get a F, we need a R. And for a R, we need a Rx and Ry. And here Rx and Ry will be equal to what? Summation of Rx is equal to what? Summation of forces in x direction. Means summation of these two forces in x direction, because R is what? Resultant of these two.
Yes, sir.
So we need a what? We have to take a component of these two forces in x direction, summation of these two component. You are getting my point? What we are doing here?
No, sir.
You are getting na?
No, sir. I'm not getting, sir.
So what is meant by R? See, okay, you are not getting the point. No, don't worry. So what is, see, basically just go to the theory that we have studied. Resultant of coplanar concurrent force system. Whenever we want to resultant of forces, what we did here earlier, suppose R is what? Resultant of four forces, F1, F2, F3, F4. If you remember our discussion.
Yes, sir.
So to get the resultant, we need the Rx and Ry.
Yes, sir.
And Rx means what? Summation of forces in x direction.
Yes, sir.
And Ry means what?
Summation of forces in y direction.
Y direction. But here R is what? Summation of, means resultant of four forces. Now here in this question, what is the meaning of R? What is the meaning of R?
Resultant of two forces.
Resultant of two forces. So we have to take means R will have a two component, Rx and Ry. If we need a Rx, we have to take a summation of forces in x direction due to these two forces.
Yes, sir.
Now you got something?
Yes, sir.
So now So how to get the resultant? And here it is not equal to 0, huh? Because
Okay, sir.
here Rx is not equal to 0 or summation of forces is not equal to 0 because they don't have a 0 value, because R is a here resultant, huh? Resultant of only these two forces, and these two forces is not in equilibrium. You are getting my point?
Two forces are not in equilibrium.
Means these two forces, summation of these two forces will not create, combined effect will not create a equilibrium situation. Which will create a equilibrium situation? See, here we have basically three forces. Yup. What we have? Yup. 45 meganewton,
28 meganewton.
28 newton. These three forces together form a equilibrium scenario. But if we consider only these two forces, is these two forces create a equilibrium situation?
No, sir.
No. So that's why their resultant we can't take a 0, sir. And if resultant is not a 0, then component is also not a 0. You are getting my point?
Understood, sir. Understood, sir.
So here summation of forces in x direction. Now what are the forces here x direction? Here 28, 45 cos 37 and 28 cos 33
Yes, sir. Both are in plus.
plus. So 45 cos 37. So Rx will be equal to what? 45. Tell me.
45 cos 37
Plus
28 cos 33
plus 28
cos 33.
cos 33. So what will be the Rx will become, sir? 45 cos 37. So 45 cos 37 plus 28 cos 33.
59.4213.
How much? 59.4213.
4213.
And as we are getting Rx positive, it means what? Positive x direction.
Yes, sir.
So here we got it Rx. Now
Yes.
then we will calculate what? Ry. Similar to Rx, Ry will become what? Summation of forces in what?
Y direction.
Y direction. What are the forces here? Y direction. Tell me.
45 sin 37.
So see, 45 sin 37 plus
45 sin 37
45
minus
sin 37
minus
28
8 sin 33.
sin 33. So 28 sin 33 is in what? Negative y direction.
Yes,
So
sir.
minus. So if you do the calculation, we will get a what? Value of Ry.
Yes, sir.
So 45 sin 37 minus 28 sin 33. How much value of Ry we are getting?
11.8317.
11.8317 unit. I have missed unit here. What
Yes,
is the
sir.
unit of Rx?
RS is
Meganewton.
meganewton.
Why meganewton? Because all the forces are in meganewton. And
Yes.
Ry unit also in what?
Meganewton.
And Ry we are getting a positive. It means what? Its direction is what?
Upwards.
Upward. So here in this way we got the Rx and Ry. We are now nearer to our answer. So please write down this discussion, Rx and Ry discussion. Now we got the Rx, we got the Ry, and by using Rx and Ry, we are going to get the R. And what we discussed in last lecture, if you remember our discussion, whenever we have components and from components we want to find out a main force, we will use a triangle. So what
Yes.
we will do? We will,
Triangle state.
so here we will have a what, sir? First of all, what we will have? We will draw what, sir? Rx.
RX.
So what we will draw first of all? Rx. Where Rx ended from that point, what we are going to do? We are going to draw what?
RY.
Ry. Rx right side ry, vertical side vertically upward.
Yes.
So here we will have a, so this is what our rx, this is what our ry,
Yes.
and then closing side of this triangle will be what our
Hypotenuse.
hypot
Resultant force.
resultant force, and resultant force is what there are,
Yes, sir.
and this r is making, just we will assume this angle is what, theta.
Yes, sir.
Now if you remember our discussion, what we need, basically our target is what, we have to find out f. What is our target? We have to find out f. But what we have written for equilibrium of oil rig, just have a look here. For equilibrium of oil rig, what we have written, f and r must be equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. So from this diagram we will get a r. But to get a f must be what? F must be what? Equal in magnitude and what?
Opposite in direction.
Opposite in direction. So see, how to get this one? Exactly as a r. We will draw what? Exactly as r, we will draw what? So this
Yeah.
will, we will draw what? F. So this will become what, a f. Try to see the point here, what your teacher want to say. So, and see, exactly, because r and f must be equal and opposite. If you draw one dotted horizontal line from here, just imagine this one, a dotted horizontal line. So this angle will become how much? How much this angle will become?
Theta angle.
Theta only.
Yes, sir.
So this angle will become what, a theta. Now try to see the scenario here. So how to get the value of r by Pythagoras theorem? R is equal to what? Square root of what?
Rx.
Rx square plus
Plus
what?
R
Ry square. So r is equal to what? Under root of rx. Rx is how much we have? 59.4213 square. Ry is how much? 11.8317 square. So how much value of r we will get?
$60.587.
How much?
60.587.
1 minute. 60.77.
587.
So 60.5877 unit meganewton.
Meganewton.
And what will be the value of tan theta? Tan theta will be equal to what?
Tan theta will be Ry by Rx.
Rx. So theta will become equal to what? Tan
Tan
inverse
inverse of Ry by Rx.
Ry by
Rx.
Rx. So tan inverse of Ry is how much? 11.8317 divided by Rx is what? 59.4213. So theta will be equal to what? Tan inverse of, please everyone.
11.26.
How much?
11.26 degrees, sir.
1 minute. 11.8317, 59.4. So 11.2612.
Yes, sir.
11.2612 degree. So we got the value of theta. So now, therefore, magnitude of localized tidal effect. What will be the magnitude of?
Localized magnitude of localized tidal.
Localized tidal effect, and that magnitude will be equal to what? F, and F value is equal to R, and that value is how much? How much that value?
60.5877 meganewton.
60.5877 meganewton. So we got a magnitude of localized tidal effect.
Yes.
And direction of localized tidal effect is how much?
Theta.
So direction of what? At the end? Direction of what? Localized
Tidal effect.
direction of localized tidal effect. What will be the direction of localized tidal effect? That will be equal to what? With respect to reference.
With reference to
With respect to reference line. They have shown us a reference line, na?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that will be what? A theta, and value of theta is how much? 11.2612 degree. Any doubt in this discussion?
No, sir.
So you got this point?
Yes, sir.
So before going further, what you have to do? Try to understand the scenario. Draw this figure properly. Write down this calculation and show this one. Please write down this discussion.
Yes.
So what they are asking us in B part, sir?
Explain the difference between coplanar flow system described as
Concurrent and parallel cell. Now try to see the scenario here. What does that mean? Try to see the scenario here. So see this one. Now in one scenario they are asking us coplanar as a concurrent force system. Another scenario coplanar as what? Parallel force system. So this is what a coplanar concurrent scenario here. Means all the forces passes through the single point. Here in coplanar parallel forces, all the forces, if they are parallel force system, they will never meet each other, sir.
Okay, sir.
This is what a one difference. Here in coplanar concurrent, all forces passes through the single point, but here all the forces will not meet each other.
Okay, sir.
In coplanar parallel force system, all the forces are what? Parallel to each other.
Yes.
But here these forces are not parallel to each other. See, then and only they will meet at this point. You are getting
Same
my point?
plane, same plane and same point.
Same plane, same point. Here, same plane, but parallel to each other. So this is what a coplanar parallel force system. This is what a coplanar concurrent force system. So please write.
सर ऑप्शन बी में उन लोग यही पूछ रहे हैं ना सर, बट डायग्राम से कुछ एक्सप्लेन करने का बोला नहीं ना सर.
But see, they are asking us a difference now. What they are asking us difference. So here we are showing the diagram. So diagram is also one of the difference, sir. From diagram, we will get a more detailed idea. Oh, what is meant by coplanar concurrent? Means examiner will come to know that. Oh, here just observe. Examiner will come to know that. Oh, he got the meaning of coplanar concurrent force system. He got the meaning of coplanar parallel force system. You are getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So before going further, please write down this B part.